asked me to tell you what I do, so here's a basic primer. You'll see some of the tools, you'll see some of the ways we work, but everyone said, well, I'm not a good artist. Does that look like art? You know, it's a basic, simple design. You can take a photograph, you can cut around it, and then you lay it out on there. So I've laid it out on the side of this, and I've made one for the other way, and I've laid it out on this side. So this is half of this from the side. So I only have to do half so that when I flip it over, you get the mirror image. So I've got a pretty much exact of what I want to do. But my lines are going to be cut a lot bigger than the actual thing will finally end up, and that'll be decided as I go along and work with it. So what you're going to see me do is use some different tools, and you're going to get the idea of how this happened. Okay, so what you're going to see, you're seeing a basic outline of an owl. What you're going to see is me take away a lot of the basic stone, and this is just like any other thing. You look at one side, take away some, look at the other side and take away some. For this sort of thing, I will pick a tool. This tool I've chosen is like a 5-inch diamond saw, and it cuts fast through this stone, makes a mess, but that's what stone carving is. And what you'll see is when I start to cut away, it only goes to a certain depth, and that's all I can cut with that blade. I can either get a bigger blade, which is a heavier tool, or I can back off and just, as you'll see, take it in little bites at a time, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So basically we're just, I've drawn the lines to kind of center it, get an idea where I want it on the column, and from there it's just a matter of taking it away. I always cut the design bigger than what the final piece is going to be, so as I'm grinding it down later I can play with it a little bit. So it's better to leave more stone than take too much away. So I'm getting rid of the big stuff first. If you notice on this side, there's a lot less that I need to take away. I've got to take all this away, but it's only this much. But on this side, I've got to take big hunks. So I'm going to use my big saws first and slowly work down to smaller and smaller sizes. Breakage. What about breakage? Sometimes you break stuff, but it really depends on the stone you pick. This is a real solid stone. As you can see, there's not a lot of flaws in it. It should be good. I'm not too worried about it. When I cut away this skin that was on the outside, I can get a feel for, okay, how does this go? It's a little sticky because it's soft, but other than that, it should break fine. But I'm going to leave big pieces. When I start to get to where I'm cutting between things, like the wings here, then I'm going to be more cautious. Because I'm on call, I need to hear my phone ring, and when I'm using power tools, I can't hear it. So I've come up with using these little earbuds. I have music on here, I listen to music, and of course when I get a call, or my wife's trying to find me, she rings and I hear it. So I put my earphones on and my ear protection on and my mask on, and I'm set. Seeing me do now is make cuts here, take off the big pieces. The red lines are where I'm going to cut to or thereabouts. They're bigger than what I actually need. It's just giving me an idea. It's not an exact science, but as I get down here to where the tail is, I'm going to be cautious, and I'm not going to cut all this out. I'm just going to cut down maybe like this, so I get the basic shape of the animal. Then I'm going to start working the other side. Okay, this is a pneumatic tool. This is an air-driven tool with chisels, just like a jackhammer, only smaller. There's numerous different ends, and I've been using it just to clean out some of these areas because I know the tail's going to be back here, so I'm just kind of cleaning it up a little bit. So with a saw, it's really easy to cut a little too far sometimes. So this one, you're taking it off, and you're taking it off in kind of like layers, and you'll see me do that here in just a second. So here's the front, and you can kind of see where our lines were. And here's the side, you can kind of see where our lines were. And you're seeing me pencil in now kind of where I see stuff. As you take it down, you find, oh God, when I put my pattern back on it, wherever my pattern went, when I put the pattern back on it, what you'll see is that all of a sudden it starts to, the pattern's a lot smaller than it was, than the red lines I had. So now I've taken it down to the pattern, but you can see the red line was way over here. And you see how much bigger the, so this is pretty much kind of the pattern I'm after. And you can see how much I've got to go. Now I've got to start thinking, well, where is his tail? How do I want the tail to be? And you see I've already cut away some because I don't want the tail as wide as his body. His tail's going to be smaller. So when we swing it around the back side, you can see, well, there's kind of a tail starting there. So I'm just, but what I found out, of course, is when you turn it back this way, the tail is down lower than I set it. So I thought the tail would be up here. Now you're seeing the tail's more down here where the pencil line is. So it's changing, and it changes as you go. You got to keep putting your pattern back on it and get closer and closer. So at first I cut the pattern a little bit big, and then I refine the pattern a little bit, and then I put the pattern back on and draw it. And after a while, and what helps a lot is looking at a lot of pictures of owls. So you get a kind of an eye feel for what an owl looks like. But it's not a matter of, it can be anything you want it to be. I know right now his head's too wide, right? His wings have to come out from the side. So right now his head's got to get narrower in through here so that